We're watching a struggle between Vladimir Putin, who is having the time of his life, and President Biden, who seems totally confused and lost. If you watch President Putin and his speech to the Russian people, which is a really long speech, if you watch him as he maneuvers every single day, you know this is a guy who gets up in the morning and he's having fun. He wants to know how he can stick another needle into the West, how he can cause a little more pain in Ukraine, how he can dance around Biden, who's so slow and so lacking in understanding that he's totally out of his league here. What you have is a guy who barely plays tic-tac-toe against a guy who's playing four-dimensional chess. And you see this day after day after day. And it's going to get worse, because every time we fail to respond effectively, we increase the space in which Putin can maneuver. And I think you're going to presently see him gradually gobble up Ukraine and begin to pressure Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. And remember, Estonia is essentially a suburb of St. Petersburg. It's very close. And so it's a real irritation to Putin to have those countries in NATO. His goal is to drive NATO west, ideally to get the Americans off the European continent, and he has no shame. So, having now occupied part of Ukraine, he's now called on the Ukrainian president to demobilize and demilitarize, basically saying, I could occupy you with so much less trouble if you would just abandon your army. You look at what Biden is doing. Somebody said to me that Biden has done for the Ukrainian border what he's done for the American border, made it totally unmanageable. And I think that you're going to see the Americans, frankly, have worked overtime to make Ukraine look hopeless. We take our diplomats out. We have the chairman of the Joint Chiefs say that the Russians could be in Kiev in 3 days. We basically are sending signals to not invest there. I mean, we are creating an economic blockade of Ukraine by our policies. So we're undermining, weakening Ukraine at the very moment that we're doing nothing effective about Russia, and in fact, just the opposite.
As I said last week, defending freedom will have cost.
Biden's anti-oil, anti-gas policy, when it drives up the price of oil, that's the largest single source of Russian foreign exchange. Now worth about $1 billion a day to Putin to have oil at the current price, which gives him tons of money to play these games with. So Biden has managed to adopt a policy which hurts the American people who are paying more for energy, while it helps our Russian opponents. Now that is not easy. And it tells you what a total mess we're currently in. And on my judgment, it's going to get worse, not better. And I think this is going to be a very challenging couple of years.